it is about time to pack up and get on out of here, but there's a few things we have to do first before we can do that. If you guys saw last week's video, you saw I had to siphon out all of my DEF, my diesel exhaust fluid, because I was getting a poor quality reading thing on my dash. It cleared up after I put the new stuff in. I went on a little drive the other day and it cleared up during the drive, so we're good to go. From last week's video, you guys would also have seen that I put these magnet things on here. They don't work at all, actually. It's still flying out, still doing its own thing, has its mind of its own. So we are gonna replace that with child locks. You would have also seen that I put these in the ceiling, these brackets. Surprisingly, I think they actually worked a little bit. So now what I'm gonna do is I got more brackets. I'm gonna do brackets from this wall onto here. We had a little dinner party in here for Leah's family earlier in the week, so that's why it's all decorated. But let's get into work. We're gonna start off with the big brackets. So it's not the most sightly thing ever, but honestly, if it stops the squeaking, I don't care how it looks at this point. So with that checked off the list, we're gonna take these magnets off. We're gonna put child locks on. With this method, push in and it'll stop here, and it holds really tight now. There's no getting by that. This one's the biggest problem drawer out of all of them. The rest of the drawers seem to be pretty all right, except the pots and pans. I'm definitely gonna need to do something about that. I think the drawer slide actually shifted down because it's so heavy. Just push this tab down and then it slides out, and it has a tab there for all of the ones that are like on the side here that don't have a bar right here where it starts. I'm just gonna put them in sideways. So that did work. I did it on the trash, so pop it out, and we got the child lock here on the side. So just push it in, slide out, push it in, and we're good to go. That's awesome. Heck yeah, dude. Looking good. Child locks, big thumbs up from me. I know they make things that are meant specifically for the drawer locks in RVs and vans and marine, whatever, but if you don't want to spend all that extra money, honestly, the child locks is a pretty good move. These were like $8 for 12 locks. So my suspicion was right. All of that extra weight in the pots and pans drawer with the propane, it made this have a lot of play. So as you can see, it's like super loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up all the screws and put 3 new ones in as well. Yeah, now it's really in there, so that's good. We have the child locks on here, 1 and 2. There we go, and it comes out. I also readjusted all of my magnets. I brought these down a bit and these forward a bit. They stick really, really strong, way stronger than before. That's another big check off the list. Next up is my favorite part of owning this bus. We gotta empty the toilet. It's not that bad, it's just not that good. Honestly, the composting toilet is a great solution, and it works super well overall, I would say. So a normal garbage bag fits right over the top of it nicely, and you only have to ever do this when you take your solids out. I just use like a bag at a time in here, and I spin it around just to kind of break it up. I have to do this every like 2-3 weeks, depending on how much y'all are taking dookies. All right, and good to go.
See if I can fit through.
With all of the work in here done, it's about time to just pack everything up and get on out of here. So I have Leah here. We're gonna pack up the bus with our clothes and get ready. We're gonna dip on out. 2, 3. I use packing cubes normally when I go places, and I'm debating on even taking them out of the packing cubes because it kind of fits in here perfectly. I have this to put in the headboard storage, which would fit in here if I wanted to, but these are like my socks and underwear. I just want to keep that all in one place in the headboard, but yeah, everything fits in here completely flawlessly. And this is like pretty much almost all of my belongings. Obviously, I don't have all of my cold weather stuff because like we're going south, we're going to Florida, so it's gonna be nice and warm. This is it. I mean, literally all of my stuff pretty much my entire wardrobe fits in this one upper cabinet, which is pretty awesome. I was a little worried about it, but looks like there's nothing to be worried about. Leah, on the other hand.
That's a bit of a worry.
There we go, Leah's side. I have all of this to go in the headboard though. That beautiful array of clothing, and then my packing cube in the corner. And we have a coloring book, and I think I'm gonna fill the rest of this dead space with a few other books or things to do in our downtime, because even though we are gonna be driving around quite a bit and just kind of going a bunch of different places during this next few week trip, we're gonna have some days where we're just gonna wanna like chill, right?
Oh yeah.
I used to travel a lot for photography and whatnot, and it was always like go, 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 and that gets super tiring. So I'm excited to kind of have my living space be with me so I can chill and also go when I feel like it. It is the next day. Today's Saturday, day before you guys are watching the video. Leah and I were supposed to leave, actually we planned on leaving I think last Thursday, a few days ago. Then some things came up, we had to finish some things up in here and get ready. So we were gonna leave this morning, and then I forgot I had to edit and upload the video because I wasn't sure where I would find Wi-Fi and the time to upload if we left this morning. So we're gonna leave tomorrow. But now something else has come up, something else has come to my attention. I have the bench taken apart, as you can tell. A seatbelt has come to my attention for Leah. So obviously her safety is very important. I didn't even really think about it, because you don't really think like, oh, you need a seatbelt for an RV. After reviewing the laws, it goes state by state. Every state has a different regulation. The bus is obviously an attention grabber, so I don't want to get pulled over and slapped with a fine. And also, obviously, again, Leah's safety is like #1 concern here. So we're gonna attempt to put a seatbelt in, but it's gonna be a little more tricky than I intended. So for those of you who don't know about seatbelts and safety regulations and whatnot, you might be thinking, Matt, you can probably just screw the seatbelt into the plywood, and I wish it was that easy. Unfortunately, I can't. You actually should bolt it to something that's welded to the frame or to the frame. So my first thought is the chair rails. The chair rails that originally were in the bus, obviously I never took them out, but I did cover them up, so that's where the problem comes into play. Lift this bad boy up. I have everything covered up with this plywood wall. However, those screws that you see back there, those two down there, those two black dots, those two screws screw the plywood wall into a 2x2 that I have screwed onto the chair rail. This is underneath of my bench, so it'll never be seen unless you're grabbing stuff for storage, so it's really not that big a deal, right? So I think I'm gonna cut a hole out of that wall. I'm going to cut part of that 2x2 off and bolt the seatbelt to the existing chair rail. I'm gonna try with this Dremel attachment. I don't know that this is gonna cut all the way through. I might have to run to Lowe's and get a different bit, but we're gonna try this out first. I'm definitely gonna have to get a different bit for this. It's not gonna work for me, so I'm gonna run to Lowe's and get a bit. I'll catch you in a few. All right, I got 2 of these just in case one breaks, but I got these Dremel wood cutting wheels, so hopefully this will do the job for me. I have to vacuum everything when I'm done in here. This is making a massive mess. Check this out. So it looks like I owe my brother a new Dremel now.
The official name is RotoZip.
So thanks to my brother with his handy dandy RotoZip saw tool, he was able to get the rest of the job done for me with the bottom little zip here. Expose our little rails. That's where the original chair rail was. So now we can bolt our new seatbelt onto those little areas and we should be good to go. So I think I have this whole seatbelt thing figured out. I just have to make one adjustment here and then put the thread lock on the bolts so they're not gonna fall out, they're not gonna loosen, they're not gonna go anywhere. And yeah, it'll be done. So we'll have a seatbelt in here for Leah. Be nice and safe and secure. these seat belts is nice because they're adjustable, right? So you can kind of leave some slack down here, and it has this lock on here then. But it's annoying because it's impossible to adjust and get exactly the way you want it. I've literally probably spent about an hour just trying to get these adjustments right, but we're almost there. Alrighty. So we have a seat belt. Probably could have made this one a little bit longer now, to be honest, but we got plenty of room here. That means Leah will have plenty of room. And that's about it. I guess it's time to hit the road. Without further ado, I'll catch you guys next week from the road. Feels good. From the road.